This one will be this one will probably be better than this morning's, just because I hopefully won't be as I was joking, stammering through the instructions. But welcome everyone. I said most everyone looks like they put in the chat, hi and where you're from. Also, and thanks to Judy for letting me know that you're still new to Zentangle. I do try to make sure that all the instructions are clear for everybody, because that way, yeah, there's not any requirement that, it's like, it always helps to have gone through what some call a beginner class. I call mine the Zentangle Essentials, and I do need to get one scheduled and have like them regularly scheduled. It helps, but for my classes, not necessary. So I think I have everyone muted. Feel free if I miss something or whatever. If you're lost, I do try to keep my one eyeball on the chat. But always feel free to open up your mic, and if I miss something or if I've gone off the screen, I try not to do that too. All right, so this is Narfello, and let me share my screen. I'll just do that. All right, and oh, you can see all the beautifulness from this morning. Look at that. Just because it was up there. All right, so this one starts off with basically a continuous S shape, or just a squiggly line. But sometimes thinking of it in an S shape is a little bit more helpful. So this one is comprised of just the S and a curved line. And now one of my friends that was on this morning said she had a challenge because she didn't start hers off in the right direction. And I don't know if it matters, but I'm going to try to, I'm saying this now so that way I'll hopefully remember, just to kind of point out something, so that way if yours doesn't start off like an S going to the left like an S would, I'm thinking that there's a workaround, so just in case. But anyway, so starting it and then basically auraing it. And then you can see from the samples, we're going to put some things, in between sort of. So you want to have a little bit of distance, but not too much. And I know in Rick's blurb, and I'll show that in a minute, the samples from Zentangle, because they're amazing as always. He says it doesn't matter if the S shapes, or like if these big curve lines are the same, and I proved that actually on mine. So anyway, so once we get all of these curve lines in whatever space you're going to do, then we're going to add these curved lines, and the curved lines come off of a curve. So if you see here in the third box on the top row, the red. And we utilize the takeoff and land feature. Actually, we called it takeoff and crash land. So the takeoff is so you have a little bit of runway. So it'll probably be easier to see when I'm doing it. But I'm going to trace over a little bit, coming up to that curve and taking off at the curve, and then hitting the next, squiggly line. And so it's just a slight curve. And then as you can see in that second row, we just continue it. So we're continuing kind of one curve at a time. The challenge that I had, and hopefully won't have again, is when we do the second one, because we're going on a different side. So as you can see, that first curve starts on the right and is curving to the left. Then we're going from the left and going to the right. And then the curve is also, let's see, if you're looking at it, so you see how it's like the curve is going up. Oh, is that the right one I was saying? Actually, the curve kind of goes the same direction. Now I'm going to have to look at his thing again, make sure I even did these right. But anyway, so for me, I found it was a little confusing, and I ended up turning my tile because that worked for me, where some others, you could just, continue it holding the tile or your paper in the same shape. So anyway, so it's that same stroke, just alternating. So on every curve, you're either, going from, going to the left, or you're going to the right. We're just alternated all the way down, and that's how you get this really cool pattern. Then, the fill-in part is up to you. So on this first sample on the bottom, I just did basic shading, left it the way it was, put shading in the tips, and spread it outward so that way, it has a really, really cool effect just like that. Then added some orbs, because as you'll see when I show the samples from Zentangle, I was, it's like, oh, well, that's a good idea, because that's what they did. Although theirs was much, much more fancier and on a Renaissance tile, which is what I was starting to try to do. And then just a simple aura the inside. So that's some ideas. Let me flip here to, okay, well, there's his. Yeah, so this is a newsletter. If you're not subscribed to the Zentangle newsletter, I highly recommend it. This was from January 24th. So just launched. And then, big story about the Tangle, and I think it must have been from Who Named It. I of course I apparently didn't read it. I just read this part because I'm like, oh, let me find out. Okay, let me just go. What do I need to know? And so that's what I hit that at. All right. So here's where and this is obviously on a Renaissance tile, so you can use the white jelly roll. And so that was neat to add some extra dimension to those curves. And then I think this is Maria's, because that looks like her signature right here. And then, yeah, so she did an aura and then orbs inside of that, and then added, a little bit of color, actually shading and color, and then a little white jelly roll for some sparkle. And then this one was on black, and this is the one where it was just aura, and then kind of shading, coloring in that center one. And this one, it looks like it's combined with sprinkle, which we did that I think that's what that is, some time ago. That's what it looks like. And then this one, the inside is called pepper. And I was actually just looking at this tangle and thinking, well, I've done it a couple times and I did it okay. And I thought, well, that would be a fun one to add. So we'll have to add that to our, maybe we'll look at that one for next time or something. But anyway, if you know that tangle, know how to do it, then, you can add basically you can add your favorite tangle in here. Oh, and then this one is neat. So on the outside, she kind of aura'd the whole outside and then put little orbs and filled those orbs in along the outside, because that's kind of neat to have it have a finished look. Actually, this one kind of has that, I ripped off some plain wallpaper and look what was underneath, more wallpaper type of thing. It's just, I like that effect. It's really cool. And then this one looks like they just, did a lot of fill in, and that's kind of neat as well. So there's some ideas, and I'm going to say, because it doesn't take that long to do the tangle part itself. So that's why I think I have 3 here started. So if you want to do that as well, so that we can try it a couple times and then fill in. And hey, staff, and everyone that has joined since I was adding that, and Cassie. All right. So, and then I did on this one, I did the orbs, and then I did, if you watched, let's say like current. So I filled in like the current, if you were on that call, where I just did like a what did I call it? It's kind of a funny spiral, right? I'm just aura-ing, but then I'm aura-ing, and I keep going till I get till I can't do anymore. All right, so I'm gonna do a white tile, and I think I'm not going to do a border on this one, and I'm gonna make sure that my pen works. I've got one floating around here that's not cooperating, and I haven't thrown it away yet. All right, make sure I'm on here. All right, so this size tile, Elizabeth, it's a 3.5-inch square. So if you want to use that, and the rectangular tiles. Oh, yeah, let me grab one. These are the new pi or 5 tiles. I have not. I'm so bad. I have not watched those. The new. I think it was probably two project packs ago. So they are. This is one. Let me measure. So they are. Well, that's the wrong thing. They are. Looks like 5 by 3. So these are. The 5 tiles, and there's a whole thing with the I'm gonna forget I'm not gonna pronounce it right. It starts with an F. Somebody will write it in there. But anyway, I need to start playing with those because they look so neat. And actually, that would, I should do that right on there. Then it's a little bit longer. Oh, okay. Maybe I'm going to do that. Thanks for that. Fibonacci. Yes. Thank you, Carla. Yeah. So there's a whole thing, that they talk about that. It's really fascinating on the project pack where they go back to some of Maria's old stuff, and she wasn't thinking about utilizing that concept, but she did because just for her eye. So yeah, so I'm gonna use this then, since I have it out, and then I can draw a longer squiggle. All right. So again, it's gonna be an S shape. So I'm gonna work to make it more S shape, because the one thing that I kind of questioned as I was doing this is like the things that matter. And I'm not sure, like length, but between the curves of this. So if like this was stretched out a little more, if that matters more, distance. And I started mine out in the middle, and then I'm going to go to both sides. Oddly, he didn't do that in his step out, and usually we do that, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. So then I'm going to try to do my best to aura this. Because sometimes it seems like when you aura, you lose a little something. Like here, so like this one is a little fatter. But as we said, it doesn't matter. And then if anyone started the other direction, let me know. Because then I think then what you do is then you'll start on basically the second step. So we just have to watch that. So if your S started backwards and you were making a 5, this is why you start on the one side. I could have flipped my tile though. Well, there we go. Well, that's not too bad. Okay, Cassie did. So if you started your S, if you made a 5 instead of an S, and so if it's not doing this where it's going to the left, hold on a minute and start on this on not this step but the next step, and then I think you'll be fine. It makes sense to me that you would be fine then. So I'll give you a minute, and it's also another. Could I fit another? No, I'm not going to mess with it. All right. So as I mentioned, the takeoff and land idea is, so I'm going to basically trace over just this beginning part, and that's going to be like the beginning of my curve. And I'm doing this in my natural curve that happens with my hand. And again, it's not a real steep curve. It's just, I'm just kind of, I'm starting here and I'm just making it natural, just however your hand would kind of do like this. So, and let me back up. So I'm starting off here on my second. So this is S number 1, S number 2. So I'm going from number 2 back to number 1. And so we're kind of working backwards that way. Oh, the things that I forget to say sometimes. And then just continuing it across like that. Ooh, they look like flames at the top there. Okay, and so then Cassie, so then this is, all right, Justine did, okay. So if you started on the second one, actually I almost have to look at it. So it's the same idea. So I'm turning my tile so that way I can do the same curve with this hand. And I'm looking, yeah, and it will be right. Yes, it will. Like that. So this is where I think, and I'm starting on S number 1 and going to number 2. So then we're so I think that might have been where my friend kind of got. Actually, let's see. Let's see if Karen jumped on. Let's see. Nope. Other Karen did. Hi, Karen Maxie. Listen, my friend Karen Tobler said she messaged me, she's like, I just didn't like this one at all. I had trouble with this. And I said, well, let me see how I can explain it maybe better. So then the other challenge I've had is, it's like where the curve line is, like this curve line is real long. So it's like, oh, I don't know what to do. But I'm kind of just sort of doing them in the same direction and just not worrying about it. I think that's half of it, is just not worrying about it.
Heather,
and like I said, some people, yeah.
Heather, does the second one begin at the end of the first one? Can we just look at the I thought I saw it beginning, like taking off from the bottom of the first one.
Oh, let's look here at the step out. And let's not look at, okay, that's mine. You know, it kind of looks like that on mine, but let's look at Rick's. See, there's a little bit of a gap. So I think it comes more off of the curve. And actually, his comes off the curve almost, well, no, some are coming off. So like here's, like almost like continuing this line. I don't know, hopefully my mouse pointer is, you're
I
able
don't
to
think
see
it makes a difference then, does it?
What's that?
Probably doesn't make a difference.
No, yeah, because I do see it. So like from the first one to the second one, there is a little bit of a gap there. So, and then two, yeah, and they all do have that gap. So I think it looks like it's where your curve is, and you just want to come off of your curve. You know, it's like, well, yeah, his are a lot more uniform than mine are. Although I do appreciate that he said that it doesn't matter. But let me stop that screen share. Yeah, so so again here, so yeah, so I'm just and it will all depend on how your curves are. So like here going back to essentially step one, so it's like maybe two, you can kind of decide. And I'm thinking, you know what, let me go back, let me just look at myself here. Yeah, because that's funny, because half of this is just figuring it out. You know, and I think my S's, let me go back to this, let me screen share again. Oh, sure, Shamila. You might have to scroll up from, but I'll put them in there again. Let's see. There they are. You know, and I don't know if it. I never know if it matters when you join in, when the you know, like if you miss that. So yeah, I'm just curious. But yeah, so there they are. Okay, and let me flip back to here. So see how well. Okay, looking at the end result. And just looking at his curve line, I don't know, because they look so uniform, and I'm not, and so my brain is like, well, what makes that difference? Just because it'd be nice to be able to do that, but at the same time, you know, it is Zentangle, so we get the inspiration, and then we just go with it as well as we can. And I'm looking at this curve, thinking, woo, that's going to be interesting. So yeah, so looking at your curve. And just, you know, starting a little bit before the curve and just kind of launching off of it like that. And like we said, it was, you know, take off and you're landing on that next line. And so like this one is going to be really long because my curve, you know, it's because my curve went long. But this is one of those where as we practice these and then we say, oh, this worked. Oh, let me try it this way, or let me try it that way. And that's how we figure things out. So again, it's just flipping back and forth. And for me, when I was playing with it, I was doing it where I was like, okay, a curve line, and then I was doing it with my hand the same way, but it's uncomfortable and it's not natural because I was drawing the curve line without moving the paper. So then I decided, you know what? This is what we teach in Zentangle, is turn your tile. And you know, and I think too, you could probably aim these curve lines, you know, just a little bit if you wanted to. Woo, like that. And then, oh yeah, so yeah, and I was thinking, you know, which side are you going on? Because it's like, okay, I did that way. Now when I'm doing the curves to the left, I'm starting on the second squiggly line and going from there. Yeah, I think mine will just be whimsical. That's, you know. Actually, this makes it's kind of fun because then you'll never be you know, or unless you're really, really good, you know, they'll never ever be too like, whoa, that made, oh, I've done something wrong. Well, we'll see what that was. Oh, I know what I am. I went the wrong direction. Oh, I'm going to continue to go the wrong direction. Ignore me. Ooh, but that looks kind of neat. Did I? Yes. Oh, yeah. So as I'm talking and doing, I needed to have my tile this way, so I would go this direction. Oh. All right. So I'll just have some really weird shapes here at the end. And that's that. And that's what I thought, you know, if you're, you know, whatever paper you're using, if you know, because it doesn't necessarily take so long to do, well, once you get the hang of it, it's like, well, then you can always try again. And that way, just in case you are, I'm going to just do it myself because I did want to do one on a white tile. I'm going to do a regular one. This time I'm going to start my squiggles over here, my big S's. And I'm going to try to, well, let's say they're starting off more squiggly or more, I don't know what I want to call that. Oh, we'll do one more. All right, then. Yeah, I was going to try to have them like not have the peaks and the valleys be so great, but have them a little bit more evened out from this first one. All right. Oh, see, and it always starts off looking so neat. Actually, that could be a neat something just right there, where then you could, you know, do something else in between. All right, now let's try going the proper direction here. And then, yeah, and this one going from number 2. And then 2, like here, I kind of it went a little bit weird, and I have this little overlap here, which I was trying to avoid that, but it is what it is. I should have taken off a little bit later. And then, so there, yeah, I have, it's almost like I have an intersection a couple places, and I think that's just because my curve is, I don't know. more analysis is required. And whoop. Yeah, and then they're going off the page. I might finish those. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, they look neat. They look neat. So then again, now it's just up to you. How do you want to how do you want to decorate them if you do? Now here something interesting. Let's see. How do I want to do this one? Actually, it's kind of neat when they're wonky. Oh, that was another thing that we decided, like with this one, is you don't have to do the same thing in each section if you don't want. You can. I started off with just leaving some blank, and then I decided to put orbs in the middle of those. So that's something also. I think this one actually might look neat. Just, oh, I'm debating. I think I want to aura it. You know, I could always aura it afterwards because I do want to play with this. I just want to add some, just having it plain, and maybe I'll add some white in the center. Now I'm not worrying about, I'm going to leave these. I don't think I'm going to shade these. I'm going to make this be like the end because they did nicely come out there. And so I'm just going to put some graphite in the tips. One thing I had worried about playing with this was that, well, if they're, you know, all even, that it'll look, you won't get the great effect if we're just putting some kind of graphite in the same area, but I was surprised that it did. And then you can always play with it Like I said, I'm just scribbling something. Let me finish this one, and then we'll use the Tortillion, oops, and see what that looks like. And this is because I don't want it to go outside of. I'm doing more of a whoops, probably off the screen, a pushing motion than a circular motion. And actually, that's kind of neat because then, it how do I want to say it? It's kind of like how I have it with the graphite itself, where it's like kind of jagged edged instead of it being, smooth. Oh, and I've mashed in my Tortillion. Oop, there we go. Like, I don't think I have a toothpick handy. If you have your Tortillions and you mash this in, it's like you try not to do it this way because that's what it'll do. But you can unwind a paper clip, or I've been using a toothpick because sometimes when I push them out, they get a little bit wobbly on the end. So I'll just leave the toothpick in and clip it off at the end, so it's not poking me. And it works really well. And then you save the Tortillion. Now I think I'm doing just this one shade, and I think I will probably go back and add some, because as Tom on here says, go dark or go home. It's nice to have that boldness. But as you can see, just by adding, it doesn't, oops. Oh, I knocked that. Okay. Actually, I'm going to go a little bit darker, especially right in the tip, because then that'll make the difference. But even though I have graphite essentially all the way across, because the gradient is going in the opposite directions, you still have that neat effect. You got that. That's right. So let's say, so what's neat is, especially me, so sometimes it's like, oh, don't be afraid of, adding graphite, but you can add a little bit, and then you can always add more. And so I'm just adding a little bit just at the tip of these. And that tip is kind of wide, so I'm kind of just spreading it out there. And then I might just smoosh it a little bit, just because I want it to have some gradient, but I want to keep that extra darkness in there. And then too, I kind of want it to be, oops. Have even, or at least close to even shades throughout. So I don't have one little tip that's like a little bit lighter. Whoa! That made it extra neat. And then, actually, yeah, so what I was doing earlier, I used the chalk pencil here, and I was just like, I decided I need to work on black more, especially with the chalk pencil, the white one, because I feel like I had a messy chalkboard, and then I was luckily with the white on the black, you can kind of use your finger. We don't use erasers, but when you use white charcoal on black, then you can kind of wipe it away. You can't do that with the graphite; that won't work. But there's also the soapstone, and I said I have to figure out how I can. Some things for my website. Where's my chalk pencil? Just to show you the difference if you've not seen. So the chalk pencil, or what is this? The charcoal, is nice and vibrant. And the soapstone, so we used to sell these, and I do have a bunch. I just have to figure out how I can kind of sell them on my site. So it's a little bit softer, and I'm just going to spread this out a little bit, just so you can see. And wipe that off. And the gradient is nice. But this is it just is a lot smoother or something. It's just different is all it is. And it's a little bit whiter. Or I mean the white charcoal, has that vibrant. So it's kind of nice to use both if you have them. I know I've seen the soapstones in different places. These ones from Zentangle were neat because you could actually sharpen them and then use the shavings, which was kind of cool. So, but I think on here on the gray, I need to have that extra vibrance. So I'm just going to add a little extra white here right in the center to pop that out a little bit. You know what, Catherine? It seems like when I was in like one of our craft stores here, I remember seeing kind of like a mechanical pencil set, and they might come in different colors. Like one of those things to just kind of search on. But because I remember it was, yeah, like I said, they were little, they weren't this thick, and they were in the craft section. But I think I don't know if like. If I don't know if quilters or even like tradespeople might use soapstone for something is what I'm thinking.
Heather,
Yeah,
they may be in the quilting section because there
okay.
are quilting marking pens, I think, that come in yellow and blue to mark on fabrics.
Okay.
And yeah, that might be a possibility.
Okay, yeah. So so depending on, because I remember early on when we first discovered Zentangle, I couldn't find the Microns except in the quilting section, like at Joann's. I was like, well, that's weird. And then finally they started moving them over into the where the other pens were. But yeah, so check that out because there's a lot of things like this that other people use, other trade, like especially like a soapstone like that. But yeah, so check the quilting and just but I think just doing a search. But I want to say it was like Eek Tools, EEK. That's a brand. It seems like it was by them that I had seen these little mechanical pencils, with the little leads. So
yeah, they might also be called Taylor chalks, and you can get the sort of disc-like form too.
Okay. That's right, yeah, because that's what they would. Yeah, if you think thinking about a tailor, and they're drawing on your what they're tailoring while you're wearing it. At least what I see on TV. Yeah, good idea. Well, and then too, sometimes like I found like in my music world. So Steph says she's seen them triangular. Oh, welders. Oh, thanks, Deb. Welders use it to make metal. Oh, metal. Oh, marks. Welders use it to make marks. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So in my musical world as a bassoon player and a reed maker, I found that there's sometimes like I could spend $50 on a pair of pliers that someone has basically drilled a hole in the center for forming our tubes. And or I can go to the hardware store and buy some needle nose pliers for $2. So yes, it's just nice to know where what other places sometimes some of these things people use, because then you can get it a little less expensive. Well, Zentangle stopped carrying those, so you can't even get them unless I figure out how to sell them from me on my site, which I have to work on. So neat. I'm liking this.
Heather, and this is Sue Schneider again in
Pittsburgh.
Hi, Sue. Another way I've noticed some people sell their products on their site is just say, send me an email with what you want, and I'll email you back, and then you can send the money.
I could do that. Yeah, because what I have now is I basically I have most all the Zentangle products, and then when I get the order, then I turn around and I order it right from Zentangle. And so through that I can do that. I just have a flat rate shipping, and there's supposedly a way that I can have it still on there, but that might be just what I have to do, because it's like, kits for some of the other classes I want to do. I was like, I wanted part of me, a lot of me just wants to do it one way, but sometimes. But yeah, that's a good thought. And then too is friends that are friends that are overseas. That doesn't help you. Although I did find from Zentangle, there is there's a couple stores that are, what do I want to say? Not where, there's a couple places that are carrying more of their stuff, because I know we have a lot of CZTs, and I think one is in Germany and one is in, I think they just said Asia, so I didn't find out where. But I was going to get that information to put that out, because as much as I, love that everyone supports us, but if you can't get it from me and you can get it, cheaper nearer in your country, that's more important. All right. Let's see. Then I went, ooh, gosh, that just looks, I think this is so, well, thank you, Catherine. I'm like, ooh, it just looks so metallic-y. Oh, there we go. Yeah, see, and it says that Amazon always works too. All right, and what's interesting on this, so here on these two, I put the white in the middle, and then the rest I haven't. And it still looks cool without. It really does. And I suppose, because you can decorate these however you want. You could also, if you wanted to put, little pen lines. Actually, I was thinking, ooh, I could do a line dot dot coming from both. I might just have to do that because it's my favorite thing in the world to do. But first, I want to put this white in here. And then I can't wait to see what everybody else is doing. Although I should stop doing that and play with this other, or I could finish playing with this. So this one I put orbs in. So this one I had done the aura-ing already. And let's make sure we're using the right color pen. And I wanted to do it more in our what we do, traditional Renaissance, and just put these orbs in because I really liked the sample that Maria did. And so this was, because the shapes are, this was I think this was my first try, on the session earlier, and I really was not happy with how it turned out. But you know what? Just like everything else in Zentangle, as we fill it in, nobody sees anything. It's just us that we have to, kind of tell our brain to be quiet. Be quiet, just be happy. Look at how neat it is. That's what I want to also share. So let me finish this one here. And another thought on shading is you could just shade the aura part. So I'm still doing the tips. And let's do a couple here that I've already done. And so I'm not putting the graphite in the center, trying very hard not to. And get a thinner-ish. And just spreading it out, but really working hard. So this, I'm definitely just pushing. And actually, I'm just going to push almost more at the tips of it, because I do like that, the darker. But it is nice to kind of go over all of it because it smooths out that graphite so nicely, the Tortillion does. And this creates, obviously, a different effect by just doing the sides, if you've aura'd. And then too, because it's on the Renaissance tile, on the tan, I can add the white in if I want. Let's see what it looks like on the screen. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oops, if I do let me do all of the ones that I've done so far. And this one, I also had decided to, do the four corners and the border, and and then I run into the having the drawing behind. So I'm not, it works both ways. One of those. At first, I was like, I wasn't necessarily liking it as much as I like these ones that are just, it is just that where you have these little tips at both ends, and even if it has little, they're like those loose ends. Oh, I could put could put it like a zinger or something on the end. I'm thinking loose ends like the fairy wings. If you were on the call a while ago when we did fairy wings, and she added those loose ends. Oops. All right, let's see here. And then I think I mentioned, if you've done the orbs, it's fun to shade those in. Uh-huh. Neat. And then I'm going to add just, well, yeah. Add some white here in the centers of these, but I'm staying away right now from the orbs. I think this is definitely one of those that once you get the hang of those curve lines, it is very impressive to do. It's like one of those, you too can impress your friends. And I'll tell you, even, so here, uh-oh, there I am. I'm looking, I'm like going, I moved something in front of there and I don't see it on my screen. Where I messed up, you don't even see it. And actually, I kind of like the mess up. It looks like a little bit of a knot. It's an extra fold. That is kind of interesting. Let's see. So going to that, there's never a mistake in Zentangle. Oops. Okay. Let's see. Oh, we still have some time. Oh, I am not hitting. I don't know how I'm hitting that. My phone to make it go all wonky. All right. All right, we got a couple more of these in the middle here. And then we'll do some orb shading. And then it'll be time to see. I cannot wait to see what everybody has done. Oh, that just looks cool. Now, let's see. So if you're doing orbs, so you can also just add a little bit of shading kind of around the sides, sort of. Sometimes I just pick one. Also, I know we mentioned earlier, you can make them, into, add a little bit of either white jelly roll or something if you want to make them, more like a dewdrop or, gem like, just to add that little bit of shine. And oops. And I'm trying to go on, it's like kind of one side, and then in the center I'm going on one side, and then on the little exterior ones just going a little bit, doing it on the the right side on the ones that go to the right, and the left side that goes the ones that go to the left, just for consistency's sake. Oh, neat. Oh, my thing is, okay, we're getting a little bit blurry. And then I thought it'd be fun. We'll add a little red. Ew. maybe just starting on the big ones. We'll just see. Just playing. And oh, good. And maybe I'll add a little bit more graphite or something. We'll see. Yeah, cool. Ooh. I look at the screen and I get so excited because it's like, wow. I still love how it looks. You know, it always looks a little bit different when you're looking at the screen. And huh. All right. I'm just adding with just a little smidge of a sparkle. Let's see how that looks. Oh, neat. Actually, these, what is this? A size 10 jelly roll that Sakura just came out with. I'm thinking, I think I need to get some more of these. Because it seems like I can put a dot down where, like it seems like it shouldn't be this way, but even with the little 8, it doesn't seem like I get just a nice little dot. Oh, wow. That looks like some artist did it. Wow, neat. Further proving that you too, by goofing around, can make something look. I just think that looks really cool. Wow. I like it when I impress. This is why when I was thinking of names for things, I came up with Tangle Addicts, because this is why I'm so addicted to this, because I can't draw. I never feel like I could draw to save my life, but this I can do. And this is just, one of those, if it can put a smile on your face and make you feel like you've achieved something. Oh, it does. See, it could, and I don't think I have it handy. It kind of makes me think of the Tangle in a pod a little bit when I put the orbs in like that. It certainly does, and I don't think I have my. I've been reorganizing things. Oh wait, maybe I do. And because I kind of have a list of spooky tangles. Oh, here it is. And so we did this last October. So it depends on the context. It feels like this is guts and Beetlejuice, and the Innapod can look really neat, but if you do it in this context, it looks creepy. Yeah, these are like little eyeballs, peering out at you. Oh, they look neat. So I would love to see what everybody has done. So if you feel like opening up your webcam, now is the time. And then now I have this white one that I started. It's like, oh, I need to finish. Oh, let's see. Oh, Shulami, that is lovely. That's the one is that the one you started earlier?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's so nice. Nice. Oh, and look at Sue's there that's gorgeous. With the nice color on the blacks. Yeah, I want to play with that some more. Oh, so here, that's gorgeous. Oh, you did it both ways. Oh, nice. and Karen's. Oh, I love everybody's. Let's see. Oh, and Marina did the pepper. Nice.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. Yeah, mine is this too, and mine is with colored pencils, Prismacolor pencils on the black, and some silver in silver beads.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And did you lay down white first, or did you? Because like I play with the black, and so sometimes I've seen some that put down white first and then color.
No, I just the Prismacolor has enough pigment in it that it covers the black pretty well. You see?
Yeah. It does. Yeah, because that's what I've used, and I'm like, because I'm like, I don't really feel like I need to put white down first. It's just an extra step. Oh, Cassie, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see who else. Oh, and Linda. Oh, so if you want to get yours on, I'm going to take a screenshot here real quick. Yeah, I agree, Sue. Yeah, the Prismacolors are so nice. But yeah, it's like, and if I can avoid steps, it's going back and forth with shading and stuff, it's like that just works. All right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so hold them up for a second. Oh, so here's Frozen, I think. Uh-oh. I'm experiencing tech loss. Okay, taking the picture now. 1 second. Okay. I think I got it. Let me test. And yes, perfect. I had to wait a second because my laptop was picking up my voice and it says, "Are you talking?" in this little big bubble here, and I'm like, I don't want that on the picture. Oh my gosh, these are gorgeous. Just lovely.
I found that to be a very difficult tangle, not the way you taught it, but when I tried to learn it myself. And I think of myself as being fairly experienced. It was a tough one, but you explained it. You explained it well. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we were having fun with it this morning because it's like even this, I still kind of stumbled over my words a little bit because it's that figuring out the other part. And because I was like, all right, I'm challenging myself. It's intimidating looking, but no, they all turned out so gorgeous. Oh, Justine, that is nice. She did. Looks like the pepper also. Oh, and Carla and Tom, look at that. See, they have that whole go darker, go home. And who's it? Oh, so Tom's, you did it on top of itself, or did you just put dark around those ones? Is that all one continuous?
No, but it's two different ones.
Oh, okay. But still, wow. You know what? Hold on a second. I want to. Oh, wait. No, that won't. No, it will work. It will work. Hold on 1 second. Okay. I wanted at least. Well, I know you guys will post it so that it'll be a clearer picture. But neat. And I like, and say, Carly, and you did the edging. I love how all of these, and then looking at Sue's too. I mean, I didn't think about. Well, I sort of thought about, doing something at the end to finish them off. Now I have to do something to make mine look less creepy.
I like them. You could put smiley faces on them.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.